Hello everyone. So in the previous video, we have seen the basics of statistic. We have seen what is a statistic. We have covered descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. And also we have seen the difference between the population and the sample. We have also seen the different types of variables in the statistic. If you have not watched the previous video, please go and watch that video first. Then you can continue with this video. So let's continue with the today's video. So it's like we are going to talk about the measure of central tendency. So measure of central tendency is nothing. It's a mean median mode that is going to represent some center point in our data set. Let's talk about the mean first. So mean is nothing. It's just an average. So simply are going to add up all the numbers and we are going to divide it by total numbers. So let's check out this example. So 13, 18, 13, 14, 13, 16, 14, 21, 13. We are going to add it and we are going to divide it by total number of items in this data set. That is 9. So we have got the mean to be 15. So let's talk about population mean and sample mean. So guys, this is just a representation. So population mean is represented by the new and the sample mean is represented by the X bar. So guys, this is just a representation. The formula is same and the capital N is number of items in the population and small n is the number of items in the sample. So this is just a, I would say this is just a representation and the formula is same for both. So median is nothing. It's just going to be a central number. So whenever we are going to get some data set, we are going to sort that data set in ascending order or descending order. Yeah, we are going to pick the central number that will be the median. So let's take in case of odd numbers, we are just going to sort it first and we are just going to pick the middle number. So in this case, the middle number is 6. But in case of even numbers, so in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here are total 9 numbers. Yeah. So simply I am going to pick like middle numbers. So 4 and 5 are the middle numbers and I am going to take average of these two number and that will be the median. So in this case, the 4.5 is the median and in this case, it was a 6. We have simply picked the middle number, but here we have taken the like two middle numbers and we have just taken their average, that is 4.5. So what is a mode, guys? So mode is nothing highly occurred number, I would say. So let's take this example: 6, 3, 9, 6, 6, 5, 9, 3. So 3 occurred 2 times, 5 occurred only 1 time, 6 occurred 3 times, and 9 occurred 2 times. So in this case, mode is 6 because it's occurred uh, like 3 times and other are less than 3. So suppose let's consider that if the like 5 also occurred 3 times and 6 also occurred 3 times, in that case mode will be 5 and 6 both. If all the elements occurred only maybe same amount of time, like same amount of time, so in that case there will be a no mode. Okay, so let's move to the skewness. So right skewed, or it's called as positive skewed. Okay, let's first take one example and it will be more clear to you what is right skewed. Okay, so this is data set. Just observe this data set, guys. So you can say that most of the values in this data set are between 1 to 9. Okay, but there are only two values which are greater than that 9. Means like they are very large, I would say. So 100 and 105, these two values are very large. Okay, so these two values are called as outliers. So what are outliers? Outliers are nothing, the value which are very high or which is low than the other data points. Okay, so outliers are the data points that are very far from other data points. In the other word, they are unusual values in the data set, means they are not following the trend. So let's look at this example. So here the most of the values are in this region, but only two values are here. So in this case, these are the outliers, and here there is only one person which is very like far from other person. So I can say that this is the outlier. So let's calculate the, okay, so let's calculate the mean of these all numbers. So mean is 19.61. But we have observed that most of the values are between 1 to 9, but we are getting mean somewhere around 20. So why it's happening? It's happening because of the outliers. So because of these two numbers, 100 and 105, they are too large. That's why our mean is getting distracted from, like, it's not between the 1 to 9. So this is due to these two values. These are like due to outliers, we are getting the mean around 20. Okay, so I would say that mean is very sensitive towards the outlier. If our data is going to have some outliers, so mean is going to be like going to change. It's not going to be between the range which we wanted. So let's calculate the median. So for median, we are simply going to sort this number and we are going to pick the middle number. So in this case, 6. So 6 is fine. It's between 1 to 9 because most of the values are 1 to 9 and mean. So median is not sensitive towards the outliers. So but mean is sensitive towards the outliers. So here we can observe one thing, that mean is greater than median because mean is 20 and median is very less. It's a 6. So whenever I'm going to plot this distribution or these data points, so I'm going to get this type of graph. Okay, so I'm going to get this type of graph. So why I'm getting this type of graph? Because you can say that, suppose let's have x is a data set, x is a data set and y is the frequency of that data set. Okay, suppose I'm started plotting the numbers. So maybe somewhere here it will be 1, here will be 2, here will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's consider 9 and 10. Just consider here all are the numbers, most of the numbers. But here there will be 100 and 105. So you can say that 100 and 105 has very less frequency. In this region there is only 2 data points. So here there is only 2 data points and most of the data is here. Most of the data is in this region, I would say. Okay, so because of these two outliers, I am getting the tail on the right side. So this type of graph is called as right skewed. So when I'm going to get the right skewed, whenever the mean will be greater than the median. So see, simply, so whenever you're going to get the data, so simply you are going to plot that data, and whenever you are going to get the right skewed data, so you can comment on data that, so the outliers are on the right side of the data or the positive side of the data. So like right side is always the positive, so it is also known as positive skewed or right skewed. Okay, now let's okay, so let's talk about the left skewed. So let's observe first this data set. So 7, 3, 4, 100, 120, 130, 150, 135, 125. So I would say that most of the values are between 100 to 150. There are only like 3 values which are in the single digit. Okay, so in this case outliers are 734 because they are not following the trend. Yeah, they are too away from these all data points. So let's calculate the mean. So mean is 86. Yeah, that is very less because most of the data is between 1 to 50. Okay, so as I said, mean is sensitive towards the outliers. So in this case there are 734 are the outliers. So that's why we are getting the mean to be less than what we are going to expect. So let's sort these numbers and we are going to find the median. We are just going to pick the middle number and 120 is the median. So I already said that median is not sensitive towards the outlier, but mean is. So in this case, the median is larger than the mean. So when I'm going to plot this distribution, I'm going to get this type of graph. Okay. So why I'm getting this type of graph? Because let's consider that maybe 7 is here, like 3 is here, 4 is here, and somewhere here maybe 7, and most of the data will be here, like 100 to maybe 150 till 150 maybe here, because most of the data between it's between here, it's between 100 to 150. That's why we are getting like high peak here. But in this case we are getting the tail. Why we are getting the tail? Because here is there are like less data points, so only 734 is there. So I am getting the tail on the left side, I am getting the skewness on the left side. So that type of skewness is called a left skewed or negative skew. So why it's called a negative skew? Because the outliers lie on the left side, on the negative side of the other data points. So that's why it's also called as negative skewed or left skewed. So okay, so whenever we are going to get mean and median approximately equal, we are going to get the symmetrical graph. So that time there will be a no skewness in the data points. So there would be no outliers in the data set. Okay, so we are simply are going to get the simple symmetrical graph. Okay, let's move ahead. So this is the right skewed. We are going to get right skewed whenever we are going to get the mean higher than the median, and we are going to get left skewed whenever mean is less than the median, and we are going to get the symmetrical graph. So whenever the mean and median are approximately equal. So let's talk about the measure of dispersion. So measure of dispersion is going to say us how data is distributed. Okay, so how data is spread out into the data set. So there are three measures. So there are three important measures of dispersion. First is the range, second is the variance, and third is the standard deviation. So these three things are going to give us the how data is distributed in the data set, because mean, median, mode can't describe how data is distributed in a correct way. So let's talk about the range. So range is nothing, guys. It's a max. So whatever will be the max number from the data set minus the minimum number. So you can say that. So let's consider this data set. So minimum is 1 and maximum 50. So all the data points lies between 1 to 50. So range of this data is 50 minus 1, 49. Okay. So simply you can just take the minimum and the maximum, and you can say that all the data lies between 1 to 50, and you're just going to subtract the 50 minus 1. You are going to get the range of the data. As simple as that. So you are going to just get the range, how data is distributed in the data set. But still, I would say that it's not a right measure to see how data is distributed. So that's why we need variance. So what is a variance? Variance is going to count the distance from the mean of each data points. Okay, so it's going to consider each data point and is going to calculate distance from the mean. So I think it's the correct measure to see how data is distributed in the data set. So let's understand this formula. So x is nothing, that is the data point. Nu is nothing, it's going to be the mean, and n is nothing, it's going to be total numbers of elements in the data set. Okay, so let's continue. Let's take one example. So this is a data set. So 4, 5, 10, 8, 2, 10. Okay, so how we are going to calculate the variance? So simply what we are going to do, first thing is we are going to calculate the mean. So in this case the mean is 6.5. So we are just going to take first element from this data set 4 minus the mean. 6.5 is the mean, and we are going to take whole square, plus similarly 5 we are going to take, we are just going to subtract with by mean. Similarly we are going to do for each and every data point. So let's observe one thing. So what we are doing, we are just finding the distance of each data point from the mean, and we are taking the average of it. Okay, so just observe this, what we are doing. So simply we are taking the distance from the mean of each data point, and we are taking its average. So in this case we have just calculated, we got 11.1 to be the variance. So let's take one example. I will tell you how variance is going to help us. So these are the two data points I have plotted. So let's in this case, so here in this case the first figure, and let's consider this is second figure. So okay, this is two. Yeah, so in this figure I would say that variance is going to be higher, because all the data points are too far from each other. Okay, but here in this case all the data points are very closer to each other. In this case variance will be low. Okay, so this type of data is going to have high variance, and low in this data point going to have low variance. So variance is going to say us the measure, it's a measure, it's going to say us how data is far away from each other. If its value is greater, then we can say that data points is very far from each other. If its value is lesser, we can say that data points are very closer to each other. Now let's get back to the standard deviation. So what is the standard deviation, guys? So standard deviation is nothing, it's just the under root or the square root of the variance. So simple as that. So in this case also we are going to do same thing, just we are going to take under root. Okay, so let's take one that same example. So in that case we have calculated standard deviation. So x dash is nothing, which is going to be data points, nu is nothing, is going to be mean, and n is total number of elements in the data set. So already we have calculated sigma square, that is nothing but the variance. So we are going to take the under root of this 11.1 and we are going to get the standard deviation. Okay, so 3.3 is the standard deviation. Okay, now there is a one difference in the formulas of sample and population. So in case of population, we are just going to divide by the n total number of elements, but in case of sample variance, we are just going to divide it by n minus 1. So that is nothing, it's called as sample correction. So there is a small change in the formula of sample variance, and I would say sample and also standard deviation. Simply you are going to subtract n minus 1. Okay, thank you. Let's meet you in the next session.